We are in section 3, Organizations and People Dimension for the Service Level Management Practice. There will be 2 questions from this topic in the exam. These would be a mix of Bloom's level 2, the understanding level, and Bloom's level 3, the application level. The questions will be from the roles part of this topic. So there are 2 roles that we will understand, the service owner role and the service level manager role. And also the questions can be from the organization structure for this practice. So it'll be a mix of Bloom's level 2 and 3. The role questions will be at Bloom's level 2 and the organization structure question will be at Bloom's level 3. So as I mentioned, the exam syllabus is mainly to understand and apply the roles and competences of the practice, particularly the service owner responsibilities and the service level manager responsibilities, and how to position this practice within the overall organization. An introduction to the ITIL philosophy or approach for roles, competencies, and responsibilities. The practice guides for these practices do not describe the practice management roles, such as the practice owner, practice leader, or practice coach. What we are going to see here are the specialist roles for the practice. So in this case, we have therefore the service owner and the service level manager, which we will look into a little later. In reality, however, the structure and naming of the roles and associated responsibilities may vary from the one you see in ITIL. In fact, the ITIL ones are not mandatory roles or even recommended. Another thing to note is one individual can take on multiple roles and one role may be assigned to multiple people as well, if there are several responsibilities under that role. These roles are mainly described within the context of the processes for this practice and the various activities within those processes. What we see here is a table of the competency codes listed by ITIL, which has 5 different codes, L, A, C, M, and T. These stand for L, leader, A, administrator, C, coordinator or communicator, M, methods and techniques expert, T, technical expert. The usage of these codes can be done for specific roles. For example, if you're appointing people for a specific role, you may want to have a specific role-based code for that job. And you could have, for example, LCM. What that would mean is the primary competency needed for that role is leader. The secondary one would be C, coordinator, communicator. And the third one would be methods and techniques expert. So that becomes LCM. Another example could be that there may be some other role which requires administrator as a main competence. So the first letter would be A. And after A, you might put in ALMT, 4-letter code as well. It need not be always 3-letter. It is up to the organization to pick up either 4-letter or 3-letter or whatever they think is appropriate. But the first letter always will be the primary skill needed, and the second letter would be the next skill that is required, and so on. For the exam, we don't have to know this table. We have to really focus on the responsibilities of the 2 roles, the service owner and the service level manager, and the team structure for this practice. So we begin with the service owner role, which is the most important role in this practice. And you can immediately acknowledge here how important the service owner is for the service level management, because this role is part of this practice. The service owner is accountable for the end-to-end management of a specific IT service. And this is for the entire service, irrespective of the underlying components of the service, other services that are part of this service, like sub-services or competencies associated with this service. In product-based organizations, usually the service owner is also the product owner. The product owner, typically in agile organizations, they are responsible for delivering maximum or maximizing the value from the product. They need to understand the customer's needs and their priorities, and depending on that, they will roll out frequent releases with specific features as needed by the customer. So this individual who is the product owner, who liaises with the customer and who has high authority within the organization for that product, can also become the service owner in parallel for any service that is based on that product. And particularly if a service is based on a single product, And definitely, that product owner usually will be the service owner. In some cases, the service owner can also be the account manager or relationship manager for a specific consumer or a group of customers or consumers. And irrespective of that, the service owners are involved in most or all of the service level management activities. So even though we have the separate service level manager role, please note this here, that the service owner is involved in most or all of the service level management activities. They are also responsible for the continual improvement of the service they own and the management of changes to the service that they own, for bringing in new functionalities or removing existing functionalities. And in ITIL, the service owner is the main stakeholder who will enable and support the service they own or they are accountable for. And in fact, not only from a service level management perspective, but from any other practice perspective. Let us now look at the specific responsibilities of the service owner. Because they are the all-in-all for a service, they need to understand the service components and the relationships between those components. That is, they need to understand the customer's requirements and into service design and draft SLAs. Particularly, they will focus on not only the service needs, but also the service level needs, and take part in the documentation of the service level agreement. And for any service related inquiries and issues, the service owner will be the main individual for the communication with customers. They will negotiate the SLAs as well for that service. They also will make sure the provision of services meets the agreed service level. So as you can see, the service owner plays a key role from a service level management perspective. They also identify opportunities for service improvements, discuss those with the customer, and initiate those improvements. They also obtain the data, or even request data at least, and reports for the service monitoring and analysis. They will have to monitor and analyze the service. And they represent the service across all the stakeholders across the organization, that is, which is delivering the service. And they will have to work with various stakeholders who are part of the other practices in the service-related value streams. For example, service restoration value stream, or service improvement value stream, or service incident resolution value stream, and so on. And they will perform the service reviews. And now we have the service level manager. This is a dedicated role. This is created by some organizations. This is more common where there are many services and many service owners. So what does the service level manager really do? They will ensure the consistent application of the service level management practice across all services and across all product teams. And as written here, they ensure the alignment and coordination of the service level management activities across the services and the service or product teams. They also act as a relationship manager who will connect customers and the various service owners. They also collate the service quality data and create and present those service level reports.